That's really interesting, actually. Even before we became part of the Borderlands world, we were seeing on message boards, on forums, people wanting to go to the moon and go to that moonshot facility. I mean, I think these guys kind of left that air of mystery. Between the first game and the second game, for some reason these lava cracks appeared on the moon and there was this Hyperion space station. So there was a real good amount of story to tell there by explaining what happened. And I think going to the moon allowed us to explore different gameplay opportunities by having low gravity and this low oxygen as well. It really provided us with a lot of opportunities to really change up the formula for Borderlands.
Handsome Jack's role in this is that he's actually your leader and he's your hero. Like, Jack is trying to actually save the moon, which there's this group of people that have taken over Helios, which is that big moonshot facility, the big H in the sky. It has this laser on it that's capable of cracking the surface and drilling into the moon, and they're trying to destroy the moon. And so Jack's actually trying to save the people on the moon. So he's actually a good guy this time. He's not the villain like he is in Borderlands 2 yet. So yeah, he's actually a good guy. He's trying to do right by you and the people on the moon.
Yeah, so there are two we're focusing on specifically here at E3, Wilhelm and Athena. Now, fans of the franchise remember both of these characters. Athena was in the Secret Armory of General Nox DLC, and she's returning for this game. We really have the ability to kind of flesh out her story. I think a lot of people want to know more about her. Now, Athena's action skill is she has this kinetic aspis, this shield that allows her to absorb damage. And it's really cool because you can level it up so you can eventually absorb elemental damage. You get fire, shock, cryo, which is the new element that we brought into the game, and then deal it back towards enemies. And you can also play into co-op as well. You can actually get a skill which allows your co-op buddies to shoot the shield to charge it up. So if you come into a space and you see there's a lot of enemies around there, you can actually get your co-op buddy to charge it up and maybe get some ice spinning in there as well, and then enter the space with a shield throw and take out a bunch of them at once. The other playable character we're focusing on here at E3 is Wilhelm. Now, Wilhelm was the first big boss that you fought in Borderlands 2, but in Borderlands 2 he was just this head on top of a giant loader. In this game, it's his origin story, essentially. He just starts out as a man, and you actually have the opportunity to level him up through his skill tree to start to make him that giant robot that you fought in Borderlands 2. So his central skill tree, which is called Cyber Commando, you're choosing skills which, for example, replaces his arm with this robot arm. It's called the Power Fist, and it allows him to punch much further and do a lot more damage. You can replace his leg with a robot leg that allows him to do this massive butt stomp damage. So if you get really high in the air with the low gravity and then hold the crouch button, you slam down into the ground, do this huge area of effect attack. His action skill is he has the ability to spawn these two drones, Wolf and Saint. Wolf is an attack drone, and Saint is kind of a buffing regen drone that helps you out by regenerating your shield. And both of those left and right skill trees allow you to kind of level them up and make them more powerful and more useful in combat. Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about Claptrap too much yet, but he's pretty fun and he's really funny to play as. But stay tuned for more about Claptrap for sure. We can't wait to talk about him.
All right, so we are modifying the gravity so that it's much more like Earth's moon. So like you said, it's basically zero gravity. So you jump much higher before you land. Things things can float off now. This offers us some really cool opportunities because it adds verticality to the game. You're operating much more inside of like a three-dimensional space where you can explore more of the map because you can jump on a lot more now. And so we have to kind of build out our map so that you can explore more of it. And because of the zero gravity, you can also jump above your enemies, which is a really neat thing because it allows you to essentially make their cover irrelevant. If an enemy's hiding behind a building or behind a barrel, no problem. Just jump over them, shoot down on them. But that cuts both ways. If you're trying to hide behind something to get your shield back up, you better watch out because they might have a jetpack, or they might just jump over it and pounce on top of you. They have slam attacks also. So we're trying to expand the combat system as much as possible through things like zero gravity. Well, I mean, this is a real collaborative effort between both of our studios. 2K Australia is doing a lot on the game. They're designing characters, designing maps. They've also written the story alongside with us. We're also building maps and enemies and playable characters as well. I mean, we're in this together. It's really been a treat because we're really big fans of their work. You know, they've been on BioShock, and I played the hell out of BioShock. I love that game. I love all of them. And it's just really cool to be able to work with the guys that really understand playable, character design and like strong narratives.
Yeah, when we originally started development of this game, the new consoles weren't actually out yet, so we were developing these for the consoles which were currently out. And really, we looked at Borderlands fans and where they existed, and everyone that's played Borderlands either has a PC, an Xbox 360, or a PlayStation 3. And we wanted to allow everyone that has played a Borderlands game to play this game, because we really feel it's a great extension of the franchise and has a lot to bring to the table. And we didn't want to leave anyone out. We wanted to make sure everyone that's played Borderlands had the opportunity to play this new game.
Well, they take place at different points. Tales of the Borderlands takes place after Borderlands 2, whereas the prequel takes place before Borderlands 2. I think it'd be good for players to not really have that expectation, but we don't really want to ruin either story at this time, or spoil it, I suppose. Oh, no. I mean, we have a visual style that is iconic to Borderlands that I don't really, it's part of the DNA of the game. We were initially a very realistic looking game, hyper realistic even, and it just wasn't working for us. It wasn't particularly exciting. It seemed kind of washed out, but when we did the art direction change, that's when the game really started to come into its own. It was something that was clearly had its own identity. It's as crucial to the game as our skeleton is to us.
The really great thing about the weapon system in Borderlands is, by adding lasers, this completely new weapon type, every single manufacturer has different attributes. I mean, you have the bolt laser with Dahl, you have the beam laser with Mali 1. That already creates a huge amount of combinations. You then apply elemental types, which go to them. That creates thousands more, because they interact with all of the other weapons that were already in the game. And we've also, by adding this cryo, this new elemental, again, it's just this exponential amount of guns that just keeps increasing and increasing. I don't think we even have a name for the number of guns we have in this game. We can make one up, I'm sure we will, but it's a ridiculous amount. And it's really fun. I mean, our designers have a lot of power to create custom guns, legendary, unique weapons, and there's a whole bunch of new ones for this game. And something really fun about the prequel being set on the moon, being set in space, is we're able to go kind of more that classic sci-fi, with the new art direction, kind of with, Dahl being this really big part of the moon enforcements. We get to go more classic sci-fi, and some of the legendary unique guns get to go down that path as well, which are going to be really fun for players.